The title of this podcast is The Most Generous Interpretation. I'll make this very brief because I don't think it needs a lot of elaboration. Uh, Earlier in this fall, I had an opportunity to go to a well-being collaborative in which they invited Arizona Wellbeing Collaborative invited speakers who were doing some really innovative work in the area of healthcare well-being for staff across the country to come and share what they were working on. And one of the people that came was a physician named Dr. Trokel out of Stanford. And he is director of evidence-based innovation as well as Stanford Weld MD Center. And he shared about this idea or this concept of the most generous interpretation culture that you can start to cultivate. And basically, what it boils down to is assuming positive intent, assuming the best from other people. And this has really been helpful for me as I have every once in a while had a couple of snags and me being on my path and getting kind of twisted and forgetting to always lead with kindness, to not take things personal. And I mentioned before, my good friend John DeCuna helped me see someone, very differently because I was not giving them a generous interpretation. I saw this person as being, really different and a little difficult to work with. But John helped me see that this person is normally right and they're helpful. And fast forward 5 years, I was doing something yesterday with the same person and we had a blast. And she walked up and gave me the biggest hug, at work and likewise. And we just have this amazing relationship. But John's generous interpretation of the person really contributed to me developing a generous interpretation of the person that has served me well. Another tool that I use is if I have a struggle with seeing someone in a positive light, is thinking of other people that care deeply about that person and maybe going to them and ask them, what is it about that person that I'm not getting? Or what is it about that person that makes them special? And they will usually share something with me of course, that I didn't know that helps me consider a more generous interpretation. My mom certainly has done that for me when it comes to my stepfather because my interpretation of him growing up and after I left the house was not generous at all. It was the exact opposite. But she shared a story about that even with all the abuse that we experienced growing up, that when she needed a soft place to land, when she was pregnant with me, he provided that for her. And for someone who means that much to me, I found room in my heart to have a generous interpretation of him for that moment that didn't absolve him of all the things that he could have done different as a parent. But that's not my call. That's for the universe or whatever to deal with that. My call is to cultivate an open heart to everyone. And now this whole concept of really developing a generous interpretation of my interactions with others. So I hope you will be, somewhat motivated to do the same thing in your own lives when it comes to your interactions that are, a little bit difficult.